Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. Volume is good to go. Let's get this started. Hey, happy 2022, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. What tickers are on your top watch for 2022? Let me start it off by discussing some of the tickers that are looking a little bit more interesting across my board. First one, Ford. How can we miss that? Oh, we aren't. Actually, you know what? Let's get into the market first. We're gonna start off with our regular pace here. First one is gonna be SPX. What we're looking at is, quick reminder, long-term rising wedge. This is what we are tracking. 4 bounces from the bottom of the lower trend line and multiple rejections from the upper trend line. When that lower trend line is lost, that is gonna be a real concern. Sorry, just got a notification on my phone there. Anyway, so this is what we're looking at on SPX right now. This is a daily bull flag. The chart is still remaining very strong. Right now, all eyes should be on NAS. Very notable weakness in NAS. When we look at the NAS, now the last video we came out on Monday is same idea, daily bull flag. We're looking at confirmation, and we got that on Tuesday, but yesterday was a slight red flag, bearish engulfing candlestick, going to losing that daily 8, and now today we're gonna need to see bulls negating that 4-hour bear flag that we're seeing right now. So with the market today, we're gonna make sure to give it some time. You're gonna need to see some strength coming in or weakness going in. There is a play here, whether it's gonna be bear flag confirmation or bear flag negation going into new highs. As of right now, 4 hours is in the downtrend on NAS. There is excuse me. There is a notable sector rotation going on right now from NAS into Dow. When we look at Dow, it is one of the strongest charts out there. Is there a 4-hour bear divergence? Not really. Okay. So Dow is one of the strongest charts out there. When we look at Dow, bounce from GP and bull flag on the daily, quickly confirmed, and we're into new all-time high. As right now, there is no red flag on Dow. Make sure, if you're looking at, again, if you are looking at what tickers to play, one of the easiest would be to look at Dow. What is trading under Dow? And when we look at this, Caterpillar was the top mover yesterday. AXP continues to be moving. Actually, let's take a look at how that AXP is doing. Nice. Daily trend reversal confirmation. Is it only daily trend reversal now? So head and shoulders, neckline break, nice follow through, money line touch, bouncing from the money line. Money line touch again on the higher low. And now daily higher high. Okay. BA is one of them. JPM. Visa is one of the hottest tickers that's been discussed. Take a look at Visa here. Inverse head and shoulders. Neckline already broke. Yesterday, huge upper wick, increasing bull volume. Daily bull flag confirmation, follow through. Yeah, so even this one. So the Visa does need a little bit of a daily higher low. I guess you could count this as a daily higher low, but ultimately, we're gonna need to see some follow through in the market soon. Nas gonna be key to watch again today. Daily bear flag engulfing candlestick. Everything is looking a little bit red flaggy. Lots of gap downs. I'm gonna go through my list here to see if there's anything interesting for a play. Not looking like too big of a gap down, too big of a gap up across the board. BA's gapping up. CCL very minorly. Fortinet. There's a Fortinet and Net. Couple interesting tickers here. 3 GP holds. Very nice bounce into new all-time high. Huge bearish action coming in right after new all-time high. This is a slight red flag. And this intermediate one does not look to be holding anything anymore. Looks like it's losing momentum on Fortinet for me. When we look at this, multiple rejections on the short-term upper trend line, but this time the rejection was unable to get to that trend line. Yeah, unable to get to that trend line, increasing bear volume. New highs, no follow through. Red flag on Fortinet. There could be a short play, a very nice short play here. We are a little bit not too far extended on the daily to the downside yet. So there is potentially a lot more downside to come on Fortinet. Ultimately, if you look at this, it has ran from $70 all the way to $363 over the last couple of years since pandemic. Net. Losing that long-term trend line. Continues to reject from the daily 8. Huge bear volume yesterday. 8% down yesterday. So, okay. Losing the GP. There's no bounce. Pre-market's down a little bit. Wedge channel. Let's delete this. I do see a bounce coming for net. In order to, we're gonna need to see the hold of this 108.93, 108.58. We already made new lows on this, so even if we were to see a bounce on here, there is no head and shoulder pattern anymore. This is a trend reversal already. Net on the bounce, what I'll be looking for is on the lower high, on this daily lower high, potentially looking for a short on this. Very clear daily 8 guide down. One pop over, immediately sold off. Where's that pandemic low? Okay, pandemic low was 2020, right? Right here, $15 running all the way to 221. This could be a long-term dragged out consolidation before coming back up on net. Text. Tellers International. Looks like across the board for cloud as well as some techs are bearish. They're trying to reverse the trend on text. Broke that short-term upper trend line. immediate back test as well. So the chart actually looks good for a short-term bounce up. But looking at yesterday's, you look at this, broke over, immediate back test the next day, and follow through. And then yesterday was bearish engulfing. Could see further downside. We're gonna need to see that daily higher low, maybe somewhere around this key zone before coming back up to new highs. RTX. I'm just gonna quickly go over my charts here, see if there is anything that looks interesting. No. Broke over trend line, back test, still guided down. Is this a weekly guide down? Weekly 8 is the guide down on Frog. Can probably move the alert now on this one. If I were bull on Frog, I'm going to want to see a break over 34. But I'm not seeing any confluences at 34. The key to break would be 34.80. Good morning, William. Take a peek at Tilray. Nice. I like your thinking. Marijuana stocks. Eyes should be shifted back to marijuana ideally relatively soon, but we'll take a look at it. I'm just gonna set an alert here. Whew, so much red. DLO range bound, gonna need to break it at 37.80. Looks like a minor wedge over here that's breaking bear. When we look at this, you're looking at something like this that's trying to break bear on the DLO. Bulls ever so slightly saved it. So I would set an alert on the break above 37.37. That's right. Somewhere around there. Okay. And let's take a look at marijuana sector. Anyone got their eyes fixed on Ford? Anyone in Ford? It's like the one chart that is notably strong across my board. Let me know if you're in Ford. How's that feeling? Great start to 2022. Let's take a look at Tilray. Oh, still got it down, hey? 88, very clear guide over the last 2 months. Ever since the November bounce to 13.95, rejecting from that support resistance, and now has been lost at 88, bounce to 88, rejection, daily bear flag confirmation, 88 rejection again yesterday and Tuesday. What's going on with this chart? Maybe we can move the money line out a little bit further. Let's see how this works. So if we're to move it to the low like how we usually do, we still lost that money line. Bull divergence. So there was a daily bull divergence over here as well. Delete this one. There was supposed to be a divergence here somewhere. Yeah, so there was a divergence here that didn't play out. When we look at the weekly, it should give a clear picture. So this is now the must break trend line. Until this is the must break trend line. If you were to look at the line chart, this works a little bit better. You know, you can draw a little bit lower as well, maybe starting from here. Let's see how that works actually. Yeah, this might make sense as well. This is the must break upper trend line, and let's see if there's a wedge forming. I can't see a lower trend line forming here. Maybe not. Maybe there is. Let's do the line chart again. There is no lower trend line that I can see. No lower trend line, and this is continuing to be weakness. So with the tail rate and marijuana sectors, the one thing I want to note is very notable continued weakness. The easier play would be to wait for the reversal, the clear reversal, whether that's on a daily or weekly, and then watch for an entry from there. Now, with the daily, first sign would be the bull break over the daily 8. We have not been over the 88 ever since November 18th. Lost money line. New all-time low is 243, followed by 441. Just going to draw some support resistances here. This is a must hold. 717. Not seeing much of a support as of right now either. Looks like $7 is a zone around there. Yeah, so you could call this a zone. Oh, I hate this chart. Multiple rejections, multiple supports. And we're right from that zone right now. Low risk entry. If you were to enter from here, just put a stop under. What I would do is put a stop under 671. Yeah, so looking back, you can still see supports from here as well. Maybe under 665 kind of a thing, but somewhere around there. Multiple supports. I like this zone. This is actually a potential low risk entry area, but the only problem with it is just depending on your play style, whether if you want to be catching the bottom. If you're looking to catch the bottom, then this would be an ideal area, maybe at the bottom of a zone instead, but the stop would be below it. The alternative to play this would be on the bull break over this upper trend line. So that's a little bit safer in the sense that you're playing into momentum versus playing into momentum downwards. Bullish. That's a little bit harder. It's gonna take a long time, kind of a thing. Earnings is coming up on January 11th or January 22nd. 2022. My bad. January 11th. So the earnings is coming up next week. And when I look at across the board for marijuana sector, what I like about this is, you look at MSOs, you look at HMUS. They both have daily bull divergence, but that needs to be played out. That needs to see confirmation. So hummus, there is an upper trend line as well. Maybe I drew that. So a couple different ways to draw this. Let's see how this one works out. We're far from the upper trend line on marijuana sectors. Doesn't matter how you draw the upper trend line, we are far from it. So there's a lot of work for the bulls to be done, but there are bull divergences. So there is hope, potential for bottoming play. Just watch for your entry. Make sure you have stops, and you do not want to be in and then end up holding a bag on marijuana. That is the worst feeling, and I can tell you that from experience. Before becoming full-time day trading, I came into full-time day trading with a huge bag of marijuana that thankfully turned out green. So marijuana sector, it's you can see huge pops like this. We have seen two different actually 3 different huge pops. You know, when they first started running from back here, and then another pop from back here before into long-term consolidation, and then another pop into, I think it was 2021, yeah, 2021, before another long-term consolidation. So there is still a chance, but you look at the long-term consolidation, it could take a long time for this to play out before the next pop. There is decent money to be made on marijuana, but it's more so a long play versus short-term scalps. Yeah, let's talk about Ford. I hope somebody's playing this. Got a little bit of comments, but nothing too exciting. You know, we'll look at this on our last video that we talked about. Was it Monday? No, Monday we didn't talk about this. In our chat room, we talked about this. Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, we did. Okay, Monday we talked about this as one of the top watches. You know, weekly bull flag finally seeing confirmation on Monday. Monday close was, what was this? 2177, high of 2188. So 2177. Monday we saw that confirmation in the weekly bull flag, and Tuesday, yesterday, huge follow through, gap up continuation. So that's double gap up, and what I was expecting for a potential is a third gap up today, but looking like there is not going to be a gap up. We are extended on the daily today. Based on the open, looking like it's going to be more like a inside bar kind of a day. So what I'll be watching for here is potentially a daily bull flag formation before next leg move up. But what I'm seeing is first gap up, second gap up. There potentially is going to be a third gap up. I would anticipate a third gap up, but ultimately, regardless of how this plays out, whether it's going to be inside bar, daily bull flag, based on this volume, based on this kind of price action, there is going to be higher prices to come on Ford. It's going to be one of the top watches for 2022. For me personally, at least. The other one I'm looking at is TSM. This is a gap down today, but looking at the chart, is it looking decently? Double gap ups, very similar idea. Huge bull volume coming in. Earnings is coming up on January 13th. So is that next week? January 13th, next Thursday. So based on this chart, same idea. I would anticipate higher prices come. This is a long-term consolidation, sideways action kind of a thing that's finally breaking bull. We look at this, it's been sideways action ever since the high in February 2021. And then this long-term upper trend line, last break was a fake out, but we held the GP, and now we're seeing actual break with volume, whereas the last break didn't really have that volume the next day to follow through either. So TSM is going to be another top watch. Today we're potentially looking at a gap fill, but we are at the lower trend line of the linear regression. Daily is way outside the upper trend line of linear regression. 30 minutes, nowhere near. 15-minute, still looking okay. See, so with extended hours on 15-minute, we are at the lower trend line of the linear regression, and this is what I'm thinking. You know, we could see likely a bounce, fill the gap down kind of a thing before a next leg down to fill the gap. But over the long term, TSM is looking up bullish. I am looking bullish on TSM. What a sexy daily chart. Love it. Rejection from this upper trend line. Daily bull flag confirmed. Lucid is another one. Oh, please hold that daily 8. Lucid. Looking like chop in the pre-market so far. Good morning, Darren. So Lucid, what a hold. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. I'm so excited for Lucid. Currently just in some common positions, nothing too exciting, but I'm so excited for the chart setup. When I look at this chart, you know, it's we started playing it back from, I want to say 23. It wasn't an immediate breakout, but we did start playing it in the uptrend. So somewhere around 23. Anyway, so looking at this chart, long-term sideways action, and then bull break. Huge bull break. So for that, the consolidation is to be expected. The matter is where the consolidation is going to go to. So we did, if it would be a little bit of a weaker chart, even if we were to consolidate to the money line, which I'm thinking the money line can be redrawn. I don't like how choppy it is here, but regardless, short-term wise, we'll be looking at this as a money line. I was thinking, the most ideal entry would be the money line touch, but look at the bullish action. Okay, so daily bear flag, hold the GP, hold the support of 36. And now we are seeing a bounce trading over that daily 8. This chart is sexy as hell. Yesterday is one of the fewer charts out there that it did not get a bearish engulfing candlestick. So I do think that there is still relative strength in Lucid. Make sure you keep your eyes on it. The one thing I like about Lucid is when I look at the business behind it, it's not really like Ford where, EV runs, everything runs kind of a thing. It's a little bit, I like to think of it as a game separate for itself. And that's why when it moves, it's not going to be more dependent on Tesla kind of a thing. So Lucid, keep on your top watch. No bearish engulfing, no red flags. Look at the volume. Increasing bull volume, low bear volume. High bull volume, low bear volume yesterday again. Hey, are we gapping up? Holy. No, that doesn't look right. Oh, chopping around. Yeah, so pre-market 38.76, slightly gapped down. I would anticipate, hey, bulls are coming in the market. I would anticipate the dip to be bought on Lucid. Bulls saving that daily 8. That would make sense, yeah. 4 hours. Let's take a look at the RRD. RRD trend reversal. Higher, 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 low, higher, high. This is not exactly the most ideal higher low on the RRD, but that is market consolidation. So we did not see the new lows. There is strength in Lucid for sure. Yes, short term still bullish. Long term, long term is going to be either chop or bearish. The couple of things I'm looking at, still the same thing. I'm looking at VIX, looking at US dollars, the usual leading indicators. So this pattern is still in play here on VIX. Breakout, upper trend line, gliding along the upper trend line before a next gap up. VIX still in play. US dollars, we are seeing a weekly bull flag still, so that is still there as well. And then actually that might be confirming very soon here. This week, next week, within the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, we could be seeing a confirmation on US dollars. That could lead into a red flag for the market. But basing on US 10 years, this is a head and shoulders bear break, no follow through. So this is looking good for the market. It confirms the theory. To me, it confirms the theory that short term is still looking bullish on the market, and longer term there's going to be a chop. So part of the reason why I think that is the likelihood of interest rate increase. That's going to affect the market. When the interest rate increases, there's going to be liquidity that comes out of the market. People are going to go into a little bit more conservative, and that is already, you can already see that happening. Actually, you can already see that happening with the rotation from NAS into Dow, as of recent, discussed in our chat group. So with that, my thesis still is the same thing. Still the same thing. Short-term bullish, RSP, IRA run, whatever you want to call it. You know, the rally, the Santa rally that everyone was expecting. Hey, when everyone's looking one way, make sure to try to at least think the other way. Everyone was expecting Santa rally. That did not happen. It was chop. And now, I don't know if anyone's looking bullish anymore. That means, hey, it's time to start looking bullish. US, so the other thing that we look at is gold as well. This is breaking bullish. That means this is a further out leading indicator based on what I've seen from previously. So with this, US gold breaking out, this could be a leading indicator further out for bearish play. Actually, there might be a decent bull play in within gold itself. Bear break of the short-term trend line, no follow through, and now we're gliding up. I like it. On the break of this upper trend line, maybe I'll set an alert here. On the break of this upper trend line where we see multiple rejections, this could be a very nice payout on gold. We'll take a look at it today actually to see if there's going to be a play in it. How's Bitcoin doing? Roku for a bounce up. Let's take a look. That was on my top watch, but it ended up falling off. Bitcoin still in that range. Rejection. So huge bear break, bounce, rejection, support. Looking bearish on Bitcoin actually. Increasing bear volume. Not a whole lot of bull volume. We could be seeing a bear break on Bitcoin today. That 45,672 or even 45,456 must hold. Or we'll be looking down at 42,000 again. All right, let's take a look at Roku. I just realized I forgot to do a ticker request in our chat group. Let me know what tickers you guys are looking at. Anyway, so Roku. Oh yeah, the reason why I stopped looking at this is there was a bull break on the upper trend line that we were tracking. So this upper trend line, 1, 2, 3 rejections previously, and we saw a bull break on December 30th. Yeah, December 30th, immediate back test, but there is no follow through. So that's a red flag. When you see this kind of a chart, the multiple rejections, finally bull break, and then back test, you want to see that bulls coming in. But now instead we're losing that trend line again. So with that being said, daily bull divergence, no follow through. I don't really like the chart. I would be based on how the chart is playing out as of right now. I can see the potential of coming back down to 150 on the longer term outlook. Guiding it down. Let's see how it looks on weekly. Okay, so it's a weekly 8 rejection. Weekly is a bear flag still. So based on this weekly bear flag, I can't see it coming back down to the 0.786, lining up with the lower part of the key zone around 150. Roku, personally, I wouldn't be touching it right now. No, I haven't covered Apple already. We'll take a look at Apple, Tesla. We haven't taken a look at Microsoft in a long time, eh? Microsoft. Hey, by the way, Darren, I just saw that I think Slack came out with a new, it might be old, but it looks like there's a default option to do chatting within our group now. So we can do live chatting. You can test it out. Maybe it's one of those things we can test out for 2022. All right, let's take a look. Microsoft. Still hovering in that zone. What I like about the chart is daily bear divergence, no follow through, but looks like it's just hovering around that same zone in between 317 to 350. The must break over is about 343. Have not seen any close above that. Multiple rejections. So let's mark that somewhere around here. And there is a clear support. We do not want to lose 316. 316. On the loss of 316, we'll be looking at a gap fill down to 312.40. So bulls are still trying to hold the 0.3. 0.5 I don't really care about. Okay, so GP. We'll do that. Apple. Early market chop. Holy. NAS is still in that 4-hour bear flag formation. Okay, so Apple. What I like about the chart is there is a very clear short-term trend line. Yeah, very clear short-term trend line. We saw a back test of this previous high yesterday, but same idea. Anytime a back test, next day you want to see that follow through into bullish action. So today is going to be key on that specific play. We're going to need to see that follow through today, see if we get a new all-time high. Apple, on the loss of this short-term trend line, depending on how you draw it, you could draw it a little bit lower. Oh, hey, that actually works out better. All right, so this low to this low to we saw another bounce here, so this actually works out a lot better. But yeah, on the loss of this short-term trend line, that play would be negated. Back test. Let's see that follow through today. Very key on NAS today. Let's go back to discuss NAS a little bit. Actually, I forgot to discuss where the outlook looks like. So on NAS, and I think most of you missed this as well. So on NAS, what we're looking at here is new highs. Yeah, new highs, daily bear bull flag formation. Next day follow through, but no follow through the day after, and this is a bearish engulfing, and we're seeing a potential for follow through today. There is a 4-hour bear flag formation right now as well. GP is lining up with that trend line down below the short-term trend line. So we could be seeing a consolidation back down to the GP around 15,950. Yeah, 15,950 area. Bulls gonna want to save this. This is so frustrating when you look at NAS chart. Oh my goodness, I hate this chart. I hate NAS so far. You know, it's just been, especially Amazon too. Looking at this chart, you know, it's multiple rejections in this zone. We finally bull break over it. Daily bull flag, lack of follow through, back down below this multiple rejection. Whew, what a hard chart to play. My goodness. So with this, we're gonna be watching today. If we were to lose yesterday's low, I would be anticipating that GP coming up then. Ideally, bulls gonna want to save it. So that's why, you know, watch for the bulls for NAS today. Pan W. Potential bear plays? Are you talking about bear plays on all three of these? Pan W, D Dog, and ZS Facebook puts. Let's see. Okay, so Pan W is not extended on the weekly. It is losing that weekly 8 for the first time ever since August last year. So this is very notable. Increasing bear volume on the weekly as well. Yeah, there can be a bear play on this for sure. Notable loss of weekly 8. You're gonna want to see that close under the weekly 8 this week. We are getting a little bit extended on the daily. I like it as a bear play. Short-term trend line looking like it's going to be lost. This short-term trend line, a potential for a head and shoulders as well. So we are bouncing from the short-term trend line right now. Today, if we're to see bullish, because we are a little bit extended on the daily, if we're to see over the next little while, if we're to see bounce from here, this could be a right shoulder formation. But based on this, I would expect over the longer term there's going to be lower prices to come, especially on the loss of this trend line. There's a huge gap left behind. Reminds me of Disney. You know, gap and run. It ran a lot more than Disney did, for sure. Gap and run, when they announced Disney Plus, gap and run, and then now we could be seeing a long-term consolidation coming up. Very nice bear play here. Pan W. Next one is D Dog. Looks like there's a guide that's guiding it down. Is it weekly 8? Weekly 8 guide down. Could be the start of it. So this was a wedge that bear break. Bear broke. Broke bear. Breakout, fake out. Yeah, so this was the wedge. Or you could redraw the lower trend line, you know, something like that kind of thing. But regardless, that's the wedge that we're looking at. Upper trend line, breakout, fake out. This is looking like an amazing bear play here. Weekly 8 could be the beginning of the guide down. Volume is not too interesting though. Last week volume is like 0. My goodness. All right, so on the daily, I like it as a bear play. There could be a back test of this lower trend line before an actual follow through, but yeah, just watch for that weekly 8. On new lows, there could also be a daily bull divergence. On the shorter term, I can't see this losing 11,168 into new low for sure. And then from there, then there might be a daily bull divergence. Gonna have to watch for how it plays out. As of right now, regardless, we're looking at is the daily 8 guide down on D-Dog and ZS. Hey, you can quickly take a look at Zoom. This is a good bear play to be in actually for Zoom. As one of the bullish plays I was looking at that did not work out. So this you know, you're looking at daily bull divergence, no follow through. There can be a very nice bear play here actually. Another daily bull divergence, gonna need to see that follow through today. But yeah, very clear guide down. Potential bottom fish play here for sure. ZS. Yeah, we've taken a look at this before. Does not sound familiar to me. Looks like there's a money line. A clear. Might be able to draw a bit higher. Bounce. Yeah, so this is the money line. Bounce, bounce, bounce. A little bit of a chop. Another bounce here. Very clear reactions in this. So on the loss of this money line, we almost did yesterday. Wicked under. Very clear weakness coming into ZS. Is it scalar? Yeah. So very clear weakness coming in. For the first time, we are seeing a wick under. Increasing bear volume. Slightly or starting to look like it's gonna get extended on the daily 8 to the downside. So today, you know, we're opening gapping down again. There is a good bear play in ZS. Let's compare it to Pan W. Pan W looks a little bit stronger in the sense that, you know, this is actually both of them look about the same. Yeah, I would rank them about the same. There's good bear plays in both of them. Facebook. Oh, what's PB? Prosperity branch shares. Ooh, the chop on Facebook. The chop. So this was the key break that I was looking at for Facebook, 347.70. We broke over it, unable to close over it. And when you look at this, there's multiple support resistance. So 1, 2 supports, somewhat of a chop around over here. Multiple rejection from that area. This is key to break and close over. We did break over this upper trend line. There's daily bull divergence that's playing out, but this could be looking like a little bit more like range bound from here. Might have to redraw this key zone actually. Yeah, I would redraw this key zone. Anyways, I'll do that later. But key zone looking like it's a little bit more on this area instead. So like that. Yeah, this is a must break on Facebook. On the shorter term, we are looking for, see if there's a lower trend line here. Facebook, oh, did you say put? Yeah, you did. It's actually looking decent for put. But I wouldn't play this as a put, because ultimately on the daily and shorter term wise, or 4 hour wise, longer term wise, my apologies, this is still a bullish trend on Facebook. We did lose that lower trend line. Now the play was on the loss of this lower trend line here. There could be a little bit more downside, but based on this, based on the volume, based on the daily uptrend, personally, I would probably pick PanW and D-Dog over Facebook as a bear play. I thought I did look at D-Dog. Did I look at D-Dog? Oh, my. Did I look at D-Dog? Oh, my apologies. D-Dog, okay. Lower trend line, key lower trend line break, head and shoulder pattern. Oh, it held the last time they were looking at it. So this is a very key break now. Increasing bear volume. How come this looks so similar to PanW and D-Dog? This volume here. So we are seeing a loss of this must hold. Depending on how you look at it, there's definitely, let's see, we gotta find that head and shoulder pattern. I'm pretty sure there is one. Maybe it's a little bit more like this. Yeah, I can see so much downside to this. Actually, we never even backtested this previous high. I would probably actually move this to over here instead. Maybe a little bit lower. Yeah, this makes sense. Draw this out somewhere over there. Rejection. Yeah, so I would be looking at, based on the chart here, if this head and shoulders plays out, we did close under that neckline already. I'll be looking at a back test of this 119, 120 area. Never got it after the breakout. That's a very decent downside. 25% downside potential. D-Dog, probably the Data Dog, probably the one of the better puts of today that we've looked at. Speaking of D-Dog, a lot of the technology, cloud, package service, softwares, they are all looking bearish. What we talked about this morning, I think you might have missed it, was Fortinet. There's a bear play here. New all-time high, no follow through. Huge red flag. Look at this bear downside right after new all-time high. This is looking like a very decent bear play as well as net. Short-term lower trend line bear break, losing that GP as well. Yeah, so a lot of these techs are looking like decent bear plays. ZES got added to NAS and still looking that bearish. Increasing bear. I like D-Dog better than ZS. Two months expiry. That would make sense. On ZS, if you're looking for a bear play, I wouldn't do it today. Just because of how we're on the money line and we are slightly extended from the daily 8. We could be seeing a bounce today before coming back down. The bear play on ZS when I look at this will be either on the break of the bear break of this money line, or a bounce. If we're to get a bounce today, somewhere between 0.382 and 0.5. Actually, there is a gap left behind here as well, which lines up with the 0.5. So this would make sense. 300, backtest 300 for a bear play. That'll be a little bit safer at least. But 2 months expiry, yeah, definitely. And then play into momentum. Once it starts, you know, on the loss of this trend line, maybe add like a shorter term, 1 month expiry kind of a thing. Just gonna take a quick look at market before we finish it off today. So market still, NAS still in 4 hour bear flag. Now let's take a look at the pre-market action here. There is potential for chop. So don't be too active. Personally, I wouldn't be too active today. Looking at this, what am I looking at? There we go. 5 minute choppy pre-market action to start the day in the pre-market. Decreasing bull volume. Still decent bear volume. Yeah, give the market a little bit of time before making any sort of plays. There's no clear play today versus, was it yesterday? I can't remember. Let me take a look. Yesterday, 7:30, 4th. It must have been the day before. Anyways, there's no clear play to start the day today. Give the market a little bit of time. Bulls are going to need to save NAS. NAS is the top watch today. If we're to lose yesterday's low, looking at this area, GP lining up with a short-term trend line here. I actually don't really like that trend line. Yeah, I don't really like this trend line. Maybe let's find something that works a little bit better. There we go. Okay, bounce, lost it, rejection, bounce, and another bounce. This makes a little bit more sense. I do apologize. My charts on indexes are quite messy. It will take some time to get used to it. Personally, you know, it looks a little bit clear, a lot more clear to me, just because I drew them, so I know what I'm looking at for each line, kind of a thing. But what I'm looking at here is on the loss of yesterday's low. We'll be looking down here. This still works, still makes sense. NAS, all eyes on it. All right, so Baba AMD. Sorry, ran out of time on that. Hey, William, if you're interested, you know, check out our chat room. I can do a analysis live for you during market hours. The link is in the description, so, and it's free to join. All you have to do is just put the ticker in there, and I will go and share my thoughts, share my some charts, some drawings on it. If you're looking for input on AMD and Baba, AMD was ultimately a bearish engulfing yesterday, so there could be a put play in it. Anyway, so that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the content. If you know anyone that may benefit from the videos, the content we share, make sure to share our channel with them. Again, thank you for watching. Happy 2022. Wish you guys all the best. I will see you in the next video.